superimposed with the
For
windows.
this?
Yes.
From Craftsbury?
No.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, this is where I live.
Hi, my name is Peggy Sapphire with Lowell. I did a little research and on the issue of whether or not this project is justifiable in something in that energy, electricity, and other business. I took information from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. It's online, I'm familiar with it. And they looked at all 50 states. Those states with the least, what they call annual generation, is what's produced. It shows that Vermont as a whole is among the 16 states who produce the least. And in Vermont, the land that is even available for this project, according to them, is 2.39. We're part of that little bit. And we're not even, and I couldn't produce a large enough copy to show, but I can give you one. It's really kind of do. Produced by the United States Department of Energy. And just looking at a profile of the state, you can see that in our area, it's mostly blank. And generally, the windiest areas are not in our part of this state. If you look at the United States map, the most energy generated occurs in such states as Wyoming, Texas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Nebraska, wide open places. Nothing on a par with what Vermont produces, or would produce. And the other thing, which I won't go into in detail, but if you could look, anybody who can get to a computer at greenvirtues.org, you will find an article called Dark Sides of Wind Power, which are testimonials given by people who live within areas affected by wind turbines that is across this country. New England in particular, they also have information from England. It's hell for people with respect to their mental health, their physical health, their living, their existence within this kind of phenomenon. And so much is not known about the long-term effects. And as for leaving home, that's if you can sell your home.
Peggy, if you could either send that information, and anybody, if you have links to sources of information, you can send it directly to the town. Michelle, can you put those links up on the website, the town website? I'm paid for it. Okay, yeah. Or to me, I can help get that over. Yeah, again, and like, and you'll see there's contact information. Call Effie at the town clerk's office if you want to give a hard copy of any reports.
Are there any other comments? Morgan.
Ralph Morgan, I have two questions. One is I'm curious about how the ownership is structured and how money flows. And in the end, I want to know who makes the money off of taking the top off these hills. And I tried to follow it. I realized that Green Mountain Power is owned by Gas Metro and some partnerships there. And I'm interested because Gas Metro promises considerable return on their investment in the future. Who's going to actually make that profit and how that's up there? Difficult to find. The second question I have is about decommissioning. I read some of the reports and found that the towers could last 25 years, in which time they proposed to take it down, replace them with brand new ones, and use the same facility till the glaciers come back. I guess they didn't really say that. So I'm interested in decommissioning and what kind of funds are set aside for that in light of some of the questions that Yankee bring up.
Oh, I'm just writing down these questions for
Yes,
any answers. The decommissioning, I know that, again, on Green Mountain Power's website, or the Kingdom Community Wind Project website, that they do have information about decommissioning. For instance, when they comment, they're, well, look further into it. See if we can go into sources.
Steve,
Just a couple of other things, Ross. The applicant is required to establish by the Public Service Board a decommissioning fund to pay for that process. So some of the taxpayers can have to fund that. Whether or not, in decommissioning, my understanding is, which is code for, I'm not sure about what I'm saying, is that you only decommission if the structures aren't working anymore, if it's not doing what you thought it would do, or it's doing something bad. If it's possible for it to continue producing the regular maintenance, then you don't decommission. As far as money, I'm making an assumption that the corporate entity, the applicant, is making money off the project, or they wouldn't be proposing the project. But I don't know how much they're making.
I guess my curiosity kicks in about international development and how much of that ridge would be owned through international ownership. It's somewhat in disguise. And I know that's a question that was asked some other places. I think it was in California or Nevada. Is how much was owned by the United Arab Emirates, how much was owned by Denmark, how much was owned by China.
Right. So, of course, gas metro is a Canadian company.
Yeah.
This 63 megawatts, is that a gross production or net? What is the operating efficiency of the turbines themselves?
I don't know the answer to that. But again, I would encourage you to ask that question of the GMP.
Well, have they identified themselves?
No, and you know, we asked those folks who are members of the Lowell Mountain Group, and in particular, Dan Green Mountain Power, the applicant, to give you folks a chance to ask questions and state your opinions. And in many ways, the questions are as important as the answers. This helps the select board assess that. Our primary goal was to create an interaction for the townspeople of Craftsbury. We wanted, frankly, to avoid a he said, she said situation unless people in Craftsbury want to disagree with each other. And Green Mountain Power and the Lowell Mountain Group in particular have graciously allowed us to go ahead with our meeting without insisting on the role in the program. So that's the plain and unfancy.
At what point will they identify themselves so we can talk to them?
Well, you'll find it at the end of the meeting. I guarantee.
I'm sorry, maybe we should just go ahead and I see that Robert has been, sorry, Green Mountain Power, Robert Augustus, and Bonnie Gay from Green Mountain, from Lowell Wind Project, or Lowell Mountain Wind Project. And so we'll be able to talk further with them and support them all the way up.
Yes, ma'am.
Me, Young Road. My question has to do with if the generator, the wind is only blowing at 20 or whatever, 30% at the time. Is it my understanding that some kind of other fuel has to be constantly running to be ready when the wind dies down, or does nothing happen when the wind dies down?
So that, any of the resources in the grid have to be backed up. There's backup for everything that's out there. So in that context, yes. I don't know if you have to have someone on a treadle or something or other going on to back up the wind turbine when the wind's not blowing. But the other systems are backed up. And you do have that backup for the whole thing. I don't know what the concept